I believe this presentation is coming from the left field. As it was mentioned, really I am the CEO and the founder of the company, but at the same time I'm the engineer. So I am working really very closely in the development of AI in our field. So what happened is, in our business, we've divided the business really into 3 segments. One of them is for the critical infrastructure, which means we're selling X-ray equipment to governments, to prisons, to jails, to courthouses, and even to schools and to subways, etc. These are the commodities that are inexpensive and they go in large volume. In addition to that, we go to the ports and borders, where now we are providing instruments or products that scan vehicles across the borders between, let's say, US and Mexico, and also for portals for the containers and the trucking industry. Last but not least, this is for TSA. This is really for the aviation market, where we are really focusing more into the air cargo. As you see, all of these, the regulators is the Department of Homeland Security. So either we work with CBP or with TSA or with science and technology in the developments of these products. I'm starting with the first one. And this one is a standard bag where the regulators requested that we can start using AI for detection of guns, knives, liquids, and gels. In this development, what made it easier or easy is that these are more shape-oriented and these are more object recognition. And in all of these, it's easy to get them as long as you have the proper images. And of course, you have to train it with hundreds of thousands of images. And this information is not available on the web, or you can go and then do the searches. You have to generate your own images in order to acquire the proper detection rate. So for this application, as we've developed it and as it's continually being, it goes through continuous development or continuous data acquisition and continuous training. As we got to this level, it has superseded by at least 20% the detection from regular operators at the TSA airports. Just to give you an idea, although it is there, it cannot yet replace them. It is being used, it is being used more as an assist to the operators. It has not yet been, been used, or they have been thinking of using it as a replacement. Now, as it takes hundreds of thousands of images to acquire and to train, it takes also, as you are testing it versus, as a final product, the more images you have of the same object, the more certainty you have, or artificial intelligence will have, in confirming that this is a threat, or this is, let's say, an anomaly. So what we've done is we've created now the same machine, the same small unit. It can give us 3 different views, and then those 3 views are acquired and tested by AI, or CNN, convolutional neural network. And they vote together into either enhancing and say, yes, this is a threat, or it is not. Moving to the aviation market. These are pallets. So this is mainly in the air cargo. And what makes air cargo difficult, if you think a bag, looking into a bag, and then finding out if you have a threat in a bag. This is a pallet. It is 4 feet by 4 feet by 5.5 feet. And you are still looking for the same amount of threat in the same pallet. Having it in the conventional way is difficult. So we relied on AI to produce it. What happens in here is, as we are scanning the pallet, we came up with a tool or with a scheme to scan it in multiple views. And then as it goes into multiple views, we have developed a CNN network in order to find the threats. You will see that it finds them in most of the views, but it does not see them in some of the views. So now it has to vote with all these views, and then it does a back projection to find it in the volumetric image. And then as it sees it here, and then it sees it there, it votes and then gives us the confidence level. Again, we tested it over normal operators with normal operators that were at 1 level. Then we said, that's not good enough. Let's go back and then test it with very advanced, 20-year of experience operators to look to see if they can find a threat. We told them that there are threats in these images. Can you find them? AI does not know about it. And AI beat them by 10%. So you can imagine. However, those threats, we covered them over a range from low to high, some material characterization. Also, what's different about this one, it's not object recognition. So with X-ray, you are not looking at a facial recognition or a facial information. You are looking more at the material characterization itself. So looking into that and then analyzing the images makes it more difficult. And also, we have to acquire those. So we've acquired, again, over 500,000 images of, I want to say threats in here. And then we were able to train the system and test the system. We are continuously developing it. Of course, DHS, S&T Science and Technology is interested to carry on work with us. This product, at one time, TSA shut it down. But we believe that this product is going to be a revolutionary product for the market. We continued it on our own penny. And then they came back and they said, you know what, we want it. So that's how it evolved from that point. So that is for material characterization. What made AI also here very, very powerful is there are, in this particular machine is 30 views, but in different machines, 35. So I have 35 images of that palette in different angles, and AI is voting on all of them. So that's what made it also superior. If I give it one image and looking at the densities and the atomic numbers of what goes into the image, it makes it difficult for AI to really recognize it at a very high level. And that's where I'm coming into my next one. This is a vehicle scanner that we are deploying now to the ports, to all the land ports of entry between the US and Mexico. So every vehicle that's coming into the country has to go through our scanners or a scanner, and we will be looking for the anomalies here would be drugs, will be guns, and will be some other materials. The problem with this one is I only have one view. I cannot do multiple views when you have humans in, because you are increasing the dose to the people. With one view, it is below the requirement, at 40% of the requirements. With more views, it raises the requirements. So what happens in this, we are looking for additional parameters, and that would be probably looking at the vehicle and then understanding through AI what is the make of the vehicle, the year of the vehicle, and maybe take information out and allow AI to look at the rest of the data. I'm going to go to the last one. This is the last image where we are scanning trucks. In here, of course, we are looking for the anomalies, but we are moving to the next level into the future, where we are going to look for manifest comparison from the time the container leaves the port of exit into it comes to the port of entry. We will monitor it, we will scan it, we will generate all the image data set with all the information about it, and then we will make a decision. So AI is going to move now more than just the imaging into the integration of everything within the port itself. And I want to finish my presentation. I think I'm out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Francois, for that illuminating discussion and how artificial intelligence is serving as an aid to protecting us from various threats. Do we have any questions today for Francois? Okay, we have one question right here.
Francois, thank you for a wonderful presentation. How well does the technology do in identifying some of the more advanced forms of explosives that are not plastic, they're like putty or paste that are being developed around the world, and they don't really require much volume to be hidden in a vehicle or in a plate?
It's a long thing. Thank you for this answer, and it is really for this question. Let me tell you, number one, we are not looking for the explosives themselves. It's the government agencies, government regulators, intelligence. They come back to us and they say, we have this threat. So can you find it, and how long will it take you to find it? So that's number one. Number two, they have to tell us what is the quantity of that threat that could cause the damage. So by us knowing these things, we can start, but then they have to give us either a simulant that looks like it, or they have to tell us how to find something that is characterized similarly to it. Then our job is to develop all of these parameters. But I agree with you. What we did is we developed now over a certain zone or certain area of characteristics. What if something happens outside that? We have to go back and then retrain it. And it goes again into all over, start all over, and then start looking for that threat. And then can you retune your neural network, your algorithm, because you don't want multiple algorithms. Multiple algorithms, each one of them has false positives, false alarm rates, and becomes cumulative. So we have one that can look into all of it. We have to be told what it is, and then we have to look for it. My most difficult one is now fentanyl. They are looking for extremely, extremely low amount of fentanyl that is hidden in the cardboard of the boxes, and they say, we would like you to find them. You know, sometimes they exaggerate. They give us something which is, I don't say impossible, but too difficult to achieve. And then we will have to go back and then search for means, maybe complementary technologies that can work with us in order to find them. What I want to say, it is not replacing, as much as the regulators want us to replace the operators and the analysts, it cannot replace them. It will work complementary with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much again to Francois.